The desert is supposed to be empty. That is the image people carry in their heads. Endless sand, hard light, nothing moving, nothing hiding. But the desert only looks empty if you watch it at the wrong time. When the sun goes down, the desert changes personality. It cools, it quiets, and the animals that spent the day hiding finally come out. That shift is not a coincidence. Many desert animals are nocturnal or crepuscular, which means they are active at night or around dawn and dusk. The reason is simple: heat. If you are a small animal in a place that can bake under the sun, moving at night is a survival strategy. It helps you avoid overheating, save water, and dodge predators that are also tuned to the same rhythm. In places like Mojave and Death Valley, that means the night belongs to kangaroo rats, foxes, skunks, bats, owls, coyotes, bobcats, and other animals built for low light. Even the tracks in the sand tell the story. You can read the desert like a set of footprints left behind after the dark shift ends. And the desert is not just alive at night, it is alive at the edges of the day. Dawn and dusk are when the heat loosens its grip and the landscape becomes usable again. That crepuscular window is where a lot of desert life happens: hunting, moving, feeding, and traveling before the temperature climbs or after it finally drops. This is why the desert often feels still in daylight and busy after sunset. The animals are not gone. They are simply waiting for the ground to stop burning. The desert is an ecosystem with a clock attached to temperature. Then rain arrives, and the whole script can change. Deserts do not get much moisture, but when they do, the response can be dramatic. Wildflowers can germinate, green shoots can appear, and bare-looking slopes can turn into temporary bursts of color. In places like Death Valley and Joshua Tree, unusual rainfall can trigger spectacular blooms. Sometimes the change is modest. Sometimes it feels like the whole desert is waking up at once. That is one of the great misunderstandings about deserts. People think life there is rare because it is hidden, but many desert plants and animals are simply waiting. They are waiting for the right season, the right storm, or the right temperature window. When those conditions arrive, the desert responds fast. Even the ground is alive. The surface that looks like bare dirt is often home to biological soil crusts or biocrusts. These are living communities made up of mosses, cyanobacteria, lichens, algae, and microfungi. They are not decorative. They help hold soil together, reduce erosion, improve water retention, and support fertility. In other words, the desert floor is doing work even when it looks still. It is not just a surface to walk across. It is part of the ecosystem. That crust can be fragile, but it is also one of the reasons desert life can keep going in a place where every drop of water matters. That means the desert has life in layers. There is the obvious layer, the animals and the plants people can see. There is the hidden layer, the crusts and microorganisms stitched into the soil. And then there is the timing layer, where everything waits for darkness or rain before it shows itself. That is why the desert can feel like two different worlds, depending on when you arrive. In the day, it can look brutal, exposed, and almost lifeless. At night, it becomes a working landscape. At dawn, it becomes a hunting ground. After rain, it becomes a nursery. Each part of that cycle is an adaptation. Nocturnal behavior protects animals from heat. Crepuscular behavior gives them a narrow but efficient window to move. Wildflower blooms let plants exploit rare water. Biocrusts stabilize the soil and help the whole system keep functioning. The desert does not survive by resisting its environment. It survives by sinking to it. It moves when the temperature allows. It blooms when the water arrives. It hides when the sun is too harsh. It waits when waiting is the smartest thing it can do. That is why the desert rewards patience. If you only look at noon, you miss the story. If you only look after a dry week, you miss the bloom. If you only look at the sand and stop there, you miss the life tucked under it, above it, and moving through it in the dark. So when the light fades and the land goes quiet, the desert is not shutting down. It is switching over. Somewhere in the dark, a fox is moving across the sand. A bat is hunting overhead. A rodent is slipping between shadows. Tiny organisms in the soil are holding the ground together. And somewhere far off, a patch of rain-fed flowers is doing exactly what it has been waiting to do. That is the real desert. Not empty, not dead, just awake on its own schedule. And maybe that is the biggest trick deserts pull on us. They make stillness look like absence. But stillness is not absence. It is a pause between shifts. The animals are waiting, the soil is working, the flowers are holding their breath, and the night is only starting to open.